But hey, listen, I think this was a lot of fun. I think we had a good one. But we also have a question today of the day.
Are we doing no manager?
Not yet.
Yeah.
Might. So if to everybody listening, if this lockout continues on and we don't play for a while and we run out of things to talk about, we might get a football manager challenge going where we each take control of our favorite MLS team, and we post videos to our YouTube channel to see if we can who wins the league first and who manages the best and all that type of stuff. So just stuff that you can ponder over while we wait. Here's my question for you lot. Would you rather, you know what's really funny? Adam brought this up like 7 minutes ago, and I did not tell him about this before I go. Would you rather have a lifelong one club player for your team that scores 8 goals a year for 20 years and is an all-time great, or a player who comes in for 3 years, scores 20 goals, and then gets sold, 20 goals a season and gets sold? However, in each case, you only get to win one title, whatever you want, one MLS Cup, one Supporters Shield, one US Open Cup. So the length of time or the frequency of goals doesn't help your winning potential.
I'd rather have a shooting star where he comes in, destroys everybody, wins a trophy, scores 20 goals, and then pieces out.
Yeah.
Thanks for the memories. Go enjoy. You came here you did what you came here to do. Go away.
Yeah, I agree, 100%. I mean, I have to pick that. That's what my team is eventually.
True.
Just come in, tear it up, leave.
I personally am a fan of the guys who stick around, but that's just the way I play and the way I've always been. I'm a big one club player. Francesco Totti, love him. Players like that are just, they're just the type of guys that I look for, and I'm like, I want you on my team. So yeah. I go against you lot and say, give me my one club player, and I'll take my one MLS Cup in 20 years versus my 1 and 3, because guess what? I'm gonna wait 20 years anyway.
True. Yeah, I think that's tough because, like, if you look at Totti, he wouldn't have cared if he never won a single thing with Rome.
No.
But that's what I mean. Like, if let's say you play for Red Bull, let's say you from 2010 the next decade you are a consistent member of the Red Bulls team. You displace David Jensen and you become the goalie, which you could probably do right now. Whether or not you light the world on fire, you're happy to play in this team, right? Like, the fans are going to love you no matter what. Whether you win 1 MLS Cup, 0 MLS Cups, 8 MLS Cups, you're still happy doing what you want to do. Whereas if I told you, all right, Andrew, you're going to sign a 3-year contract to the Red Bulls. You're going to play every single game in those 3 years. And at the end, we're going to sell you no matter. You could be the greatest goalie. You could win the Ballon. You could be the first MLS player to win the Ballon d'Or. All this, like, everything. You're guaranteed an MLS Cup at the end of your 3-year contract. But no matter what you do in 3 years, we're selling you. I think most players say, totally fine, sign me up.
Oh, I agree. I think most players are like that completely. But it speaks to the old, and I guess I'm just an old-time person who enjoys this type of play where when you play for a club, it's a part of you, right? You're playing for something bigger than yourself. And I think these days it's way too much about, give me the money, I'll come in and even if he does score 20 goals a year, like, it doesn't matter. Right? Like, all I care about is what my bank account says at the end of the day. And, I remember when I played for my first club, Comac Cougars, we were awful. I mean, we were the C team that got bumped up to be the B team, but we were just like Division 6. Nobody was good. When that team folded and I went to the academy, the first team, I was genuinely upset because I loved playing for the Cougars because it was just like my first team. It was all about where I was. And I remember I tried out for a team in Village of the Branch. And I came home after the tryout and I said, I'm not playing there. I don't care if they take me because I could not picture myself in another kid. And it was one of those things where I didn't really care about where I played or how good the team was. I just wanted to be a part of a team that I cared about, right? So when I wanted to stay in the Comac system, I wanted to play for Comac teams. And that's why I think I stay on this side, is because it's very rare that you find somebody who is a one club player because he doesn't care about the money. He doesn't care about the results. He just cares about representing something that's more than himself. And I think that's something very rare, and it's something that if I had, I would hold on to forever.
Yeah, I think part of that's definitely the modern game.
Mm-hmm.
So you don't have a Francesco Totti, a John Terry, a Paolo Maldini, these guys that stay with the same club for 20 years. But also part of that is teams nowadays is just constantly, like, you have to keep refreshing your team. You can't have, half your team now be over the 30, out of contract, like toward the end of their career, and then that's when you reset, like reshuffle your team. So we on Chelsea, and I won't name names, have had two players who have been there for quite a few years, 7-8 years, I think. One has never scored more than double digits, either goal or assist, in a season in his entire professional career. Has been fantastic as far as professionalism. He's had a few little bumps here and there, but he's, for a team like Chelsea that aspire to win the Champions League, have, the best players in the world. Yes, the loyalty is great, and I think this is probably his last season, and I'll be sad to see him go, but I don't know if I'm necessarily going to look back and be like, oh, I remember he was fantastic.
Yeah, and I think oh, go ahead, Connor.
No, I was just agreeing. I know exactly who you're talking about. And yeah, probably a name that if you like brought it up, I'd be like, oh wow, yeah, I remember him, but like I'm never gonna think of it myself, probably.
Right. Like
If you
name the top 30, I'll give you top 30 wingers of the decade in the Premier League. I think he maybe just makes that list.
Possibly.
Oh, him?
Probably.
Okay. The other thing I was going to add is that you talk about how you always have to refresh your club, and I think that's been something for a while. However, it speaks to how good some of these players were, how legendary they were, that even when everybody was getting rotated around them, they stayed forever because they could, right? And again, it's different in MLS, right? Because we don't have legends here, right? You'll look at players. BWP is a legend. Yes. He will get a statue. Wando is a legend, but you don't look at them globally and think, oh my God, remember when Bradley Wright Phillips did that? No.
How much of that is, and I'd have to obviously go back and look, but how many strikers did the Rebels bring in that Bradley Wright Phillips looked at and was like, oh my God, my spot's in, I don't know if I'm going to play now. Like, this guy might push me to the bench.
None.
Maybe one.
I remember when they brought in David Soma on trial. They brought him and Robbie Finley in. And I was like, oh God, this might be like the time they're trying to change things. And they both didn't make it. And then Brad was like, all right, bet, let's do it again. And he did.
Yeah, but year after year, this man was the undisputed striker in that Red Bull team. And the second choice was nowhere close to him.
Yeah. And you're right. You're absolutely right. And it's something that has set us up for where we are today, because we've never had the guy coming up. We had Brian White was the guy coming up. And yeah, I love the guy, but you're right. He's not Bradley Wright Phillips. He's not Thierry Henry, and he does dirty work, and he was going to score 25 goals this year, and we knew that. But
oh no, okay.
No. So he was going to do a job, but he wasn't prolific, right? He wasn't the guy that we looked at was like, all right, we're safe. But I totally agree.